was probably come in, quick look, slam it down. Yeah, it's all right, Dad. I left my boy in charge, speaking to him on the phone. Yeah, Dad, everything's all right, the pond's running fine. Finds it hard to get out of the drum filter. Family together forever. My pH in the pond has dropped down to 6.7, so I ain't best impressed. If I don't laugh, I'm only gonna go nuts. The water pumping in as fast as I possibly can. I was away for 5 days. I want to show you what I picked up from the show. The guys at FD Foods were there. I only need the little bit in the middle. It wasn't a real koi, but we still got a koi. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. James the Koi Whisperer. And this video ain't gonna start off too great. To be honest with you, I've just got back from the BKKS show and well, I left my youngest son in charge of my koi pond and I've come home to an absolute disaster. So as you can see, the clarity of this pond is definitely not the same as what it normally is. I've also got the water pumping in as fast as I possibly can. The water level in the pond is certainly a lot lower than what it normally is. I've got loads of floating fish food left over there, loads over there, loads over here. Haven't behold, the first thing that I've done as soon as I got back from BKKS, jumped out in the garden and I thought it seems awfully quiet out here. Looked at the shower filters, nothing was running. Red flags were up. Straight to the filter house to work out what's going on. Let me spin the camera around and show you. But before I show you, just so everyone's on the same page, I was away for 5 days, me and the wife. So after we got back from the show, we ended up spending a couple of nights away, just a little break together and just a bit of relaxation, little holiday. That being said, well, I left my boy in charge, speaking to him on the phone. Yeah, Dad, everything's all right, the pond's running fine. So we went and checked the filter house last night. Luckily that it's only one night. I asked him to lift the lid of the drum and well, this is what I'll come back to. So as you guys can see, that drum, the lid on that drum has not been put back on properly. And that's a major issue, because if it don't get put back on properly, what happens, these drums have got a sensor on them there and there. And if those two sensors don't connect, then the drum filter doesn't work. And basically, I'm showing you now, it's a little bit noisy, but this is what happens when the drum filter doesn't put itself on a clean cycle. There's so much dirty water inside of the drum that the water finds it hard to get out of the drum filter, which means the pumps that I've got running down there on full speed for the shower filter, it also empties the bile unit, because the pumps are pulling water out of the bile unit and putting it back to the pond, because this pump's still running. This pump's not running as fast as this pump, but basically what happens with this pump, it will shut itself off. It's got an automatic shut off system on this pump, which will kill the system to the pond if it doesn't get any water basically. So it's still running at the moment, but if I leave that for any longer, then it will cut the pump off. So these shower filters have both been dry overnight. But the reason why the pond levels dropped is because all of that water that was in that bile tank got pumped into the pond, which went down the overflow, and that means that I've got, well, there's not enough water in the pond at the right level now. So even if I put the lid on now to get it working, because there's a float switch in there, it will just carry on cleaning and cleaning and cleaning, because the levels in the pond, you can see the levels in the bile tank straight away start rising back up, because the water coming out of the drums feeding the bile tank. It's a bit of yibbity yabbada, but basically, long story short, all it needed to happen was the boy just needed to make sure he put the lid on. But you know what these kids are like these days. It was probably come in, quick look, slam it down. Yeah, it's all right, Dad. And like I've just done there, by slamming it down, the lid's not put on properly. So just make sure the lid's put on properly and then it works. That being said, I'm going to go and have a word with my son, because all of me fish, to be honest with you, I only asked him to do one simple job, just to make sure that the pond was all right. It's my own fault really, because I left him in charge of it, but it was a simple job in my eyes. That being said, I've just got to let it top back up now and then I'll put it on a bit of a better clean. But yeah, this is not what you want when you first get back, and it just shows with the levels in the pond and stuff like that. I know people will say, oh yeah, you wouldn't get these problems with it without a drum filter, and to be honest, I've never had no trouble with this drum filter. It's just purely the levels in the pond with the float switch not working. But it ain't a good start to a video, but I wanted to share and show with you what's going on in the Whisperer house. And one extra thing I've just noticed is that the bicarb that I put out for me son to put out over 2 days is still here. My pH in the pond is dropped down to 6.7, so he didn't put that in either. So I ain't best impressed. And if I had my way, without Mrs. Whisperer knowing, me and the boy would be having some words right now. But she said she'll sort it. I got to sort the pond. Probably the best idea, to be honest. And I think I understand why my wife puts these little mottos around the house. Family, together, forever. If I don't laugh, I'm only going to go nuts. That being said, let's just sort the issue out, and then let me tell you how I got on at the show, because it was a banger, an absolute banger. Let's sort this and then give you a bit of an update. But on that note, all of these other koi in this pond, these are looking fantastic, doing amazing, and we are going to get them out this week to do a bit of a measure up to show you guys which ones are looking the best. For the people that do follow the channel, there's a lot of people that did say up at the show, when are you going to be doing the competition, who's got the best fish, from me and Mrs. Whisperer. So we'll do that this week. We'll get them out, give you a bit of a measure up and see which one you guys like. We'll run you through the rules and information on the video when that's ready. But yeah, they're looking very nice, water's looking very nice, and the pond's looking good. I just need to clean the window though, because a couple of days away, that green algae soon comes on this pond. That being said, while I wait for that pond to fill up, the main pond that is, I thought I'd just do a little bit of a recap on the show itself, the BKKS show. What an amazing show it was. So many people turned up on the Saturday and on the Sunday, to be honest. What the guys do, what they put on, the people behind the scenes, you've got to take your hat off to them. Without the guys putting it all together, organising it, without all of the koi dealers being there, the shows wouldn't exist. So you've got to give credit where credit's due, and an absolute banging weekend it was. I did pick myself up some bits as well, so I'm going to run you through that real quickly. But there was some incredible fish at that show. Some of the grand champions that I managed to get on film. I know Southwest Koi, they won with the dealers VATs, they won a grand champion. A shower, an absolute amazing quality fish. Well, decent quality. The body, the skin. I mean, when they say with the Sumi being black ink, I mean, this fish was on fire. The grand champion that won for the normal event, that was an absolute banger of a fish. The Tancho, I think, was second grand champion or reserve grand champion. Probably one of the best Tanchos that I've seen in my life. Absolute banging quality fish. I'm not sure on the owner, but I did manage to speak to him and say a few words, and I did credit him for how well he's done. He raised these fish, I believe, I might be wrong, but in a 3,000 gallon pond, and he only keeps about 6 fish in there. So it just shows what you can achieve in this hobby, and these fish were on fire. Seeing them in person, absolutely amazing. But that's enough yibbity yabbity about all of that. I want to show you what I picked up from the show, and yeah, run you through that quick. So yeah, I did buy some of this stuff, and I did get gifted some of this stuff. So to start with, the guys at FD Foods were there, and they kindly offered 3 bags of this food for me to try out, and report back to you to let you know how I get on with it. I've never used it myself personally, so I thought I'd give it a bit of a blast, seeing as that they offered. It looks like a decent quality food, but I'm not going to be doing a sort of review on that food until I've used it, tested it, see how I think that the food is myself personally, and report back to you. But I've heard nothing but good words about this FD food. I did see the guys from Burton's as well, because I was tampering around with my, well, this is like the sleeve before, like your wash pump, so it takes water out the clean side of the drum, and then it runs into your wash pump, so the wash pump stays as clean as possible. But the little bit inside of it, when I was cleaning it, I was a bit heavy-handed on it, and I broke it. So I just asked the guys at Burton's, and they kindly give me a whole new system. So I only need the little bit in the middle, but I've got spares if I need it. I did pick myself up some of this as well, just to give it a bit of a blast. Because I live in a soft water area, I'm always playing around with my KH, but this is a GH/KH plus bufferer. So I thought I'd give it a bit of a blast. I've never really worried about the GH, and I did speak to Chris at SKS saying, would it affect anything in the pond if I start changing around the GH in the pond? But unless you try it, you don't know. So I thought I'd give this a bit of a blast and see how I get on with it. I did also get kindly offered a t-shirt from Lebo Koi. I'll leave his information down. He does all of the printing, he does loads of different stuff, clocks, absolute amazing stand when I saw him at the BKKS show. So I'll leave his channel or his link underneath, if I can get it, underneath in the description of the video. And last but not least, I went and saw Quinny Koi. I fancied buying a koi. It wasn't a real koi, but me and the wife collect these. So we've got another one to the collection. We've actually got one of the bigger goshkis up here now. So we've actually got two of them here now. So we've got a start of a collection going on with me wooden arowana. So yeah, she was very impressed with that, the wife, Mrs. Whisperer. And it wasn't a real koi, but we still got a koi. I did also get a t-shirt from Liam at the Koi magazine, The World in Nishigoi. Absolute banging magazine, top bloke. He's the guy that does all the filming and all the photographing for all the fish that you see at the BKKS show. And to be honest, I've become good friends with him. We've got a good friendship. And he said, the Whisperer, I got a t-shirt for you. So I went and saw him at the end of the show and he gave me a t-shirt. So banging, I do like it, and it fits a dream, seeing as I put on a few pounds. Got to be on the XL size now though. Last but not least, Koi Pond Lifestyle. Absolute cracking channel this guy's got. We've been friends on YouTube, throughout the YouTube community world, probably around 5 years now, I believe. Got to be 4 or 5 years. And we never met in person until this weekend. And we've had a little bit of a saying or going on. He's well known for things called oat cakes. Well, one thing I've been waiting for years to try them. I was so keen on trying them. On the way home, I actually had to have one as it was and just try it raw. And I was like, this is a bit different. For people that don't know what oat cakes are, they're pretty much like a pancake, but an oat cake. And you can put bacon in there, syrup. Well, he gave me a whole pack. I was meant to share them with the whole family. But, having behold, for some reason, they all disappeared. And I don't really know where they went, but they were really nice. But that's what I told the wife, but I managed to smash all of them. And I was going to do it live on camera, but I thought it's a bit piggish, me sitting there and eating 6 or 8 oat cakes all in one session. But they were the absolute hammer. So yeah, all of that being said, these things do happen when you keep a koi pond. Being home, maintaining them, looking after them. Even the Whisperer ain't perfect. These things can happen to anybody. But that being said, I have got a delivery due to be turning up today. So if it does turn up, I'll whack it in the end of this video clip. This video is not going to be a massive video, but I just wanted to share and show with you that, you know, these things do happen when you keep a koi pond. Little dramas like that can end up killing your koi. If I didn't have the air pumps running, if I didn't come home today, you know, having behold, it's one thing's for sure. Luckily enough, all of the fish are still all in good health. I'm going to keep an eye on the water quality. Obviously, I would have lost a little bit of bio out of my backy showers, but I don't think they were dry for mega long hours. They were a little bit damp when I still checked earlier on, so it has been knocked back. I will whack some filter start in there as well today after it tops up. No food for a couple of days, get the water back on track, and then slowly build up the feed again. But, you know, having behold, that being said, I think I just heard the doorbell go, so I'm going to go check, see what's turned up. Right then, so it's a lot bigger than what I thought it was going to be. But that being said, I got a new pond to set up. I best get started before the wife gets home. Else I'll be the one in the doghouse. And we can't be having that. The Whisperer's got things to do. So if I don't see you in a week, I'll see you for a window. Koi Whisperer, over and out. Bosh.